Hi everybody, it's Aluna Michaels, Esoteric Astrologer. I'm going to be talking to you about events, astrological events of February 2015. Okay, so let me tell you about what's going on. First of all, I know everybody gets nervous about Mercury retrograde, although it's no big deal. Mercury will be going direct on the 11th of February, yay. It goes direct at, oh, I didn't write that part down. I think it's 1 degree of Aquarius, if you guys know that sort of stuff. Yep, 1 degree of Aquarius. And for those of you who follow this sort of thing, when we say, okay, when does Mercury get to the degree, see it retrograded at 17 Aquarius, yes, in January, and that was actually on 21st or so of January. When does it hit 17 again? That's the 3rd of March. Then we're out completely out of that retrograde cycle. But it's a great time to be planning new things, especially, you know, it is the sign of Aquarius, so new ways that you're going to be breaking through old limitations. Uranus, I mean, Aquarius ruled by Uranus is great for that. And especially that, that energy of like that Mercury going forward, just like, yes, you know, everything you've been working to let go of kind of can melt away or be sort of smashed at that time and feel really free from limiting belief systems. And it's a powerful moment really when Mercury goes direct, to feel like, what do I want to choose to believe? Instead of, when Mercury is retrograde, you're seeing how you're a slave to your thoughts in a lot of ways, and you're limited in a box, so it can be, you know, moving out of that box into, you know, a slightly larger box, because we're sort of in a box, right? So that's really exciting that that's happening. Then it's kind of a slightly complicated thing to talk about. Let's talk about the planet Saturn. Saturn moved into Sagittarius, right? And Saturn is the planet of, you know, creating roots and stability. So there's always that balance between creating the stability and breaking out of the limitation. But of course, if you're too unlimited, it's like, where does the energy land, you know? So what's going to be happening is that Mercury, as it goes forward, will connect with Saturn. It's called a sextile. And that's going to happen on the 20th of February. So Mercury goes direct the 11th, and it does that on the 20th, and that's a nice time to really be able to root those changes that you want. So creating an action plan and being able to follow through is great, you know, instead of just like, oh, and then forgetting about it. So that Saturn helps you to sort of underpin your changes. Now, at the same time, the planets Venus and Mars are going to both move into Aries at the same time, and they're going to also connect with Saturn. So, and I'm going to talk about those certain things, but Venus and Mars will go into Aries the 20th, 21st of February, and then they will trine, connect positively, a nice way, with Saturn on the 24th, 25th of the month. So, okay, so before we talk about Venus and Mars moving into Aries, which is, of course, the first sign, and it's like, when things go into Aries, it's so fresh and new, you know, completely, not just a new sign, but a new zodiac cycle. But first, we're going to talk about those guys being in Pisces, Venus. And of course, it happens once a year, Venus in Pisces. It happens once every 2 years, Venus in Pisces. Excuse me, Mars in Pisces happens once every 2 years, because Venus has a 1-year orbit, so it goes through Pisces once a year, and Mars, it'll go through every other year, go through Pisces. But they're both coming through and finishing up at the same time. So Pisces is completing cycles, completing the whole zodiac cycle. So meditating on, especially as Mercury is still retrograde these first few weeks of February, what also do you want to release about relationships, Venus, about self-esteem issues, Venus, money, Venus. Mars can be about sex or getting what you want, your desires, being able to release desires that don't serve you, that sort of torment you, or they're about old things you don't even care about anymore. Mars can be about feeling that you have the courage to go for what you do want, you know, so releasing fears about having what you want. Also, releasing fears of being successful in the sense that people would be jealous of you, or you wouldn't be able to feel you deserve to have that success or the wealth or the money or the relationship, you know, because you have other friends who are struggling or something like that. You know, Pisces, be able to say, I want to be the, sorry, that was my cell phone, be the inspiration to people. And that moves you into that energy of Aries, which is like, hell yeah, I'll be, you know, take what I'm going to do and be the leader of people. Pisces can be a little, oh geez, you know, what are they going to think? So knowing that as you manifest your good and live in that good, it inspires others. If you say, oh, I'll only take half the good, yeah, that other person might not be jealous or triggered, but they're not going to be moved through. Like the jealousy or the anxiety they might feel or something could stimulate them into new growth. So if you don't take all of your divine good that you've been meditating for, praying for, visualizing, it's like, what, it's not doing you any good, it's not doing them any good. So to be challenged, because these planets are going to be moving into Aries, people need a challenge. They need stimulus. So even if that's that they're a little, you know, bummed about, oh, she's got this, I don't got that, or he's got that. It's like, well, let me now also move up to that level. So you don't go down to theirs or halfway and, no, they can go up to here. Give them a challenge. You know, you deserve it and they deserve it. So that can be that energy of letting it go in Pisces. So, you know, again, letting go of all those things, your own limitations too. You know, not just other people's that you're being impacted, but your own limitations. So Pisces is all letting that all go, letting the fears go, being able to steep and enjoy what you deserve to have. And then as those energies, Venus and Mars, do move into Aries, it's like, wow, it's like, so like a celebration energy. It's exciting. You can take risks. You know, and what's nice is that you've got that undergirding of Saturn right there. So it's not like crazy stuff. You know, you want to get a new job, but it's like, you know, you actually are qualified for that, or you, it's not just random kind of, you know, again, give me what I want, ego out of control sort of thing. It's a balanced energy. So that's really nice. You know, it's a great time for, just on a third dimensional physical level, you know, making plans about weight loss, or, and not just like, I want to be thin, but I want to treat my body well. I want this machine to run optimally so that my soul can be in this machine, you know, and sticking with that plan. Because Mars is like, yeah, I'm going to do it. And Venus is like, oh, I'd feel so good if I did that. But Saturn is like, I'm doing it. This is the plan. I'm joining the gym. This is my workout plan. This is my healthy diet. These are the foods I'm willing to let go of. And these are the ones I'll only have, you know, once a month or whatever. And these are my healthy new recipes. And I'm going to cook on Sundays and bring my food through the day, throughout the week, you know, to work or something like this. So Saturn's a plan. So it's really nice to feel energized about all of that, you know. Also because Mars and Venus are together like that, it's really helpful for relationships that you are working together. So things that you felt you're at cross purposes, you can actually realize through the Venus and Mars going through Pisces, forgiving and releasing just stuff in the relationship, especially the past 2 years, if you've been in a relationship that long, or if you've had other disappointments in those 2 years and you've had a new relationship come in, that you can release those things, that Pisces can. I never get this many texts, I'm sorry, I usually put the phone in the other room. So you're going to be able to release all these things that are, again, sort of clogging up the flow of the river, you know. This is really comedy here, the thing going. So as you release those things and feel open and hopeful to more, the energy of those things moving into Aries can be, we're in alignment together. You know, if you've been in that relationship longer than 2 years, you've moved out the old 2-year stuff. Why I'm saying 2 years is because it's a Mars cycle. And Mars can be that aggression of like, or resentment, I didn't get what I wanted, I want what I want. And it's like, whew, just clearing that out and saying, we're in it together. We're focused together. And it also helps you align with a new partner, if you're in a new relationship or even a new work relationship, to draw in both of your desires and wishes and move together and be an improved result that you wouldn't have gotten if you're by yourself. So that Aries is really a powerful energy. Okay, next thing is, towards the end of the month, let's talk about, the sun's going to, of course, move into Pisces later in February. And, oops, sorry about that. I don't know, my computer just dimmed. I don't know if that makes it look darker. The sun and Neptune are going to conjunct and that's going to be the 26th, of course, because Neptune's in Pisces. So that's a wonderful time, like, because there's kind of all this Mars and stuff. It's like doing things and it's very active. And then there's that sort of week that afterward, or even a few days after that, of letting go and sort of trusting that to happen. So there's, yeah, I used to have a gal that I did sessions with. She was a spiritual helper, and she would talk about the desire energy goes really fast, you know, and you have to then release and relax to let it manifest. There's something about all this excitement and planning and doing, and then sitting in it and allowing it to be. Like, just sort of take your hands off all the mental energy and allow it to be, and allow yourself to receive the energy coming in. You're still acting and taking your actions, but kind of trusting that you put your intentions out there and you can just trust that they're moving. You do your part, but you don't have to push the river, you know, so that Sun conjunct Neptune is, you know, a relaxation into knowing your good is coming and knowing the results are coming. The other thing that kind of reinforces that is the planet Jupiter is going to be connecting with Uranus, and Jupiter and Uranus are kind of similar because they're about that divine mind and creativity and enthusiasm, and that those planets are also right there too. So people, I think, will be feeling very optimistic and hopeful, and that's just nice. You know, it's just nice to come out of a Mercury retrograde like that, and especially for the Sun to be in Pisces as well, that people can feel that divine love for others and compassion and things like that. So also just wanted to say there's kind of a little interesting point here, if I can find it because I didn't write it down. Oh, yay, there it is. Okay, so Jupiter is going backwards right now. It's retrograde, and it works with Uranus at the end of February. And there's almost like, again, this feeling anything's possible, dreaming as big as possible. And at the end of June, after Jupiter goes forward, that's going to happen in April, they'll work together again in the same way. So you can get a lot of those results, you know. So you might be working on one set of plans and feel so good, like, yeah, you know, you made your kind of Mars and Aries stuff and things are starting to happen maybe even over just that week. And you feel like, yeah, you know, I can align myself with my highest good, and I'm feeling in touch with the power of the universe. And I can do even bigger. I can go even further, and then have more longer term goals even that can start coming forward later. But especially things about releasing limited belief systems. That's the best thing about all the stuff going on in February. It's like, you know, you're only limited by your thinking. And it can help even to have friends who you see don't, like, say if you're not in a happy relationship, or you're single or something, and you have a friend who's happily married, you know, that sort of person, it's like some people think, oh, there's no good men out there, no good women out there. Well, what about the friends that say there's plenty of wonderful people out there? And I always think I should run some sort of dating service. I meet wonderful single women, wonderful single men. Like, there are plenty of them out there. But the belief system, there's no good ones, or no one's good for me, you know, this can limit your choosing. So being able to surround yourself with the people that don't have that belief system, you know, so it's like, then they don't draw those situations. They meet really wonderful guys and think, wow, you know, like, I'm in a happy relationship and I meet all these wonderful guys and think, oh, that person would be good for so-and-so, that person would be good for so-and-so. So I don't have that belief system, but I might have a different belief system, and that limits me. And then I want to connect with someone who says, oh no, that's just a thought. That's not how it is. You know, I don't think that way, and my life reflects that. So having Uranus and Jupiter do this helps that way to be able to connect with those people who aren't in that limited box, and they're in this whole other cool box, and you can say, I want to go in there. So it's a wonderful time of possibilities, and especially, again, with that Mercury going direct. Okay, so hopefully that made some sense to you. I'm laughing because I'm thinking I'm wearing this necklace, and it's John Travolta as Vinnie Barbarino. A lot of people say, what is that necklace you're wearing? Is it like your grandmother or something? It's like, no, it's by Kim Bangs, who's a wonderful jewelry artist in Chicago. And let me tell you that if you would like to have a session, lunamichaels.com is my website. I also have my ebook there, The Spiritual Gifts of the 12 Astrological Signs. It's a good little starter about spiritual astrology, esoteric astrology, and some spiritual steps for signs. And if you'd like a session, you never had one before, and you're a YouTube follower, subscriber, whatever, please let me know. I can give you a discount. I'm going to be doing that with so many of you YouTube guys, and you've been so wonderful when you come through. So have a wonderful month of February. Enjoy the constraints coming off your thinking, and have as much fun with that as you possibly can. I'll see you next month.